We've been talking about frequency distributions and histograms. I'd now like to demonstrate how we can create both of these in SPSS. So we started out by talking about categorical variables. If we go back to that defaulting customer data set so if you've not read this go watch the video. This is part of your homework on page 61 in the course packet. Okay, so one of the variables that has been recorded for each of these 25,000 customers is how they pay their monthly dues. And we had to type in some variable labels for this. There are four possible labels: book statement, credit card EFT. So EFT means electronic funds transfer, and checking EFT. So what these two options mean is that you give them permission to either bill your credit card every month for the amount, or just deduct it from your checking account automatically. A book is where you get a little coupon book with 36 coupons in it, and every month you tear a coupon out and send in a check for the required amount. Statement is where they mail you a statement. Okay, so let's get a frequency distribution of this variable. In SPSS, you go up to Analyze, and you get pretty much all the routines for analyzing data. The lecture this week is going to draw from this descriptive statistics. So we're going to go to Analyze Descriptive Statistics, and we're going to use the first option, which is frequencies. Now this menu, I think, is very easy to use. You just copy all the variables that you would like frequency distributions of into the variable box. So I'll highlight this payment type variable, and I'll click on the little arrow to the right, and that brings it over. Another categorical variable is gender. Why don't we bring that in as well? All right. Now, next, if we want to get a graph, the way we do that is to go to charts. So let's check on charts. And we get the option between a bar chart, pie chart, or a histogram. Well, let's do a bar chart for each of these. And then we get the option of showing frequencies or percents. We'll just stick with frequencies. Hit continue and hit OK. And that's all there is to running a frequency distribution and a bar chart in SPSS. And we're done. So you get your table and you get your bar chart. Now let's turn to numerical variables. So if we go back to the data set itself, let's study the down payment variable. Actually, let's start with age. So if we want to generate a histogram of age, there's a number of ways. We could go back to the descriptives frequencies menu that we were just at, but there's a more direct way than going to that menu. And that direct way is to go up to graphs. So let's go to graphs. Then you'll see a couple options. Let's go to legacy dialogues. Here are all the graphs that SPSS will make for us. One of those is a histogram. So let's go check that one off. Now this menu is equally easy to use. We just copy any variable that we want a histogram of into the variable box. So we were going to study age. So I'll bring that variable in and go hit OK. Now what you'll see is a histogram that looks rather strange. So there's a number of features of this graph that are strange, and I encourage you to pause the video and just stare at it for a few minutes and see what you find strange. Okay, well, here's what I find strange about the video. First off, as indicated in the instructions, this is a health club for adults. So you wouldn't expect to see such a large number of 0-year-olds joining this health club. There are hardly any 1-year-olds, and then there's a clump of 2, 3, and 4-year-olds, and then nobody here that's sort of 4, 5, 6. So that's definitely unusual, and I suspect that those zeros are mistakes of some sort, or perhaps people who would not reveal their age. Another feature that's kind of unusual is out here. Notice this lump of 99s. Now, I suppose there's no reason why 99-year-olds could not join a health club. However, it's unusual to get such a large lump of 99-year-olds when there are no 98-year-olds, 97-year-olds. In fact, there's nobody over 80 with the exception of that lump of 99-year-olds, which makes those 99s very suspicious. So these could also be values where people refuse to give their age, and the person keying the data had to enter something because it was a required field, and therefore they entered in 99s to get to the next screen. All right, so other than that, all the values make rough sense. There's some teens in here that maybe aren't quite adults, but they're not, again, completely horrible. Certainly those small values and the upper value would be problems in this case. Okay, so that's how you generate a histogram in SPSS.